At the start of a new school year, second-year high school student Tabata Ren is determined to leave his life of solitude behind. He wants to make friends, and to do that, he needs the perfect seat. He spots one, but just as he's about to claim it, a pretty girl swoops in and takes it. She glares at him, intimidating Ren. When she asks if he wants something, Ren tries to think of what to say, finally mentioning that the seats in the back are the best, because they feel more relaxed and are far from the teacher. The girl gives him an empty expression and asks if that's really so, making Ren doubt his words and say that maybe all seats are the same. Feeling terribly nervous under her intense stare, Ren wonders if striking up a conversation was a mistake. When she asks if he's going to sit down, Ren apologizes, feeling totally lame. Panicked, he takes the seat in front of her and she then asks if he wanted her seat. Panicking even more, Ren lies, denying he wanted it. Because of the girl's bland reply and expression, Ren wonders if she's upset and thinks he should have just sat down immediately. Convinced he's left an awful impression, he mumbles through his class introduction and later learns the girl's name, Sasaki Touko. When their homeroom teacher Katu asks for volunteers to be the class representative, Ren sees his chance to step out of his shell and shakily volunteers. Katu is delighted, saying 2 class reps have been elected. Confused, Ren turns around and sees Touko raising her hand as well. He stares at her, shocked, not knowing what to say. Though it's something he didn't expect, Ren sees it as an opportunity to become friends with her. Boldly addressing Touko, Ren suggests they do their best as class representatives, surprising her. After a moment of hesitation, Touko shyly agrees, making Ren's eyes widen. She stands and leaves, while Ren thinks that perhaps he was being too familiar with her. He's relieved that he hadn't made a complete fool of himself, as he had initially feared she'd snap at him. Later, Ren is feeling good, happy to have taken the first step toward changing himself. Unaware of his surroundings, Ren stretches his arms, his hand accidentally connecting with something soft, Touko's chest. Horrified, he looks at her, but she just glares and tells him the teacher wants to see him. As she walks away, Ren is left feeling like he's given her the worst possible impression. On their first day as class reps, Touko and Ren find themselves sitting across from each other, the atmosphere thick with awkwardness. They're in an emergency meeting because of something discussed yesterday with their homeroom teacher. Katu revealed that Touko had been helping her since last year, and she's happy the class now has both a female and male representative. During the meeting, Ren is perturbed that Touko won't even look him in the eye after the earlier incident, and wonders if being a class rep with her is a good thing. Katu then says a question had come up in class. Who among them is the student class president? Not knowing how to answer, the carefree teacher leaves it up to Touko and Ren to decide. As she told them to meet after school and discuss it, it's how the 2 class reps find themselves in the current situation. Ren is nervous, especially since it's his first time speaking to Touko like this. Their conversation is going nowhere since nobody is talking. After another round of silence, Touko suddenly volunteers to take the position, reasoning that it's for the best. When Ren begins to protest, Touko bluntly tells him he doesn't seem like a good fit. Flustered, Ren disagrees, but Touko remains unconvinced. Suddenly, she leans forward, startling Ren and making him nervous at how close she is. Touko instructs him to look her in the eyes, and being a guy, Ren's gaze drifts elsewhere. As he fails to do it, Touko states that being able to hold eye contact and have a real conversation is something a class rep should at least be able to do, saying she's a better fit to be the class president. Determined not to back down, Ren volunteers himself instead, saying he's aware of what the position entails. He says he'll be the president, but Touko believes it to be impossible. When they can't come to an agreement, they inform Katu that they will share the role. The teacher asks if they're both okay with that, and since both say yes, the laid-back teacher cheerfully agrees. Later, Touko reveals she's fine with either of them being the class president, making Ren question what she means. Touko says that being class reps means they'll have to meet with a lot of people, so being bad at socializing would make it hard for both of them. She admits she's also bad at socializing, making Ren curious. She hopes Ren will get used to her surprising him. While Ren resolves not to cause her unnecessary trouble, Touko recalls his words from the previous day, and appreciates that they'll be working together. Despite their conversation yesterday, Touko remains as unfriendly as ever, only giving Ren short replies. Their current conversation is awkward, making it difficult for Ren to connect with her. He recalls how she wants him to get used to her, but at this rate he thinks he'll just end up getting used to her unfriendliness. When he hears someone talking about a game he's interested in, he tries talking to Touko about it, not really expecting her to reciprocate. To his surprise, she knows the game and even admits she likes its art. Enthusiastic, Ren offers to buy the art book with her. Counting the conversation as a win, Ren thinks about how it's his first time having a real conversation with Touko. When he receives a message from his sister, Ren starts wondering if Touko has line as well and thinks of asking for her number, using them being class reps as an excuse. Just then, he spots her. Becoming nervous, he doesn't notice someone behind him. Katu loudly greets him, surprising him so much that he lets go of his phone. Ren tries to catch it, which Touko notices. She deftly saves his phone, but Ren continues pitching forward. His face ends up against her chest, surprising both Touko and Katu. Freezing on the spot, Ren tries to calm down and make sense of the situation, eventually realizing he needs to apologize to her. In his panic, he asks Touko for her phone number instead, and she promptly agrees on the condition that he steps away first. Finally, Ren's wish is granted. He has someone in his contacts other than family. Grimacing, he thanks Touko, who's aloof as usual. Katu teases Ren for his kabaten, while the latter feels like the distance between him and Touko is growing even larger. Unbeknownst to him, Touko is actually glad, as she too has finally added someone other than family. The next day, Ren is anxious about the previous day's incident. He tries to stop thinking negatively, telling himself there might be a bright side to Touko he's yet to discover. As he enters the classroom, he accidentally encounters Touko, making him instantly nervous, especially since she's not looking friendly at all. They exchange awkward greetings before Ren attempts to enter the classroom, unintentionally blocking Touko twice as she tries to step out. She glares at him, and Ren thinks he's made her angry again, quickly apologizing. When Touko looks away, Ren asks if there's something she wants to do outside. She tells him never mind, making Ren apologize again. Touko looks at him thoughtfully, which leaves him confused. Suddenly, Katu arrives, and the two students hurry to their seats while the teacher huffs at them. Later, Ren notices Touko spacing out and asks if something is bothering her. She says nothing, so he apologizes and walks away. He stops as Touko unexpectedly grabs his sleeve. Ren asks her what's wrong, and after hesitating a bit, Touko tells him she's not mad at him, and that he should stop over-apologizing. Noticing her blush, Ren stares at her before admitting that apologizing has become a bad habit of his. Ren promises to do it less and mentions he was just worried about yesterday. Touko seems not to know what he's talking about, making Ren backtrack. Still, he promises not to repeat yesterday's incident, feeling like he understands Touko better now. When a classmate is about to hand Touko the day's printouts, she sees the latter's unsettling stare and quickly pivots to Ren, handing the papers to him instead. Seeing Touko bothered, Ren tells her not to worry, but she only stands and insists she's fine. Curious, Ren observes her as she leaves and wonders if people find Touko unapproachable, just like he did when he first met her. Just then, he realizes he's never seen Touko talk with others and thinks that perhaps she isn't good at communicating. Ren wonders if she feels as alone as he does. If people keep avoiding Touko, Ren realizes he might end up doing all the work. Just then, a classmate approaches, relieved that Touko isn't around. The classmate says Touko's cold eyes and scary aura make it hard to talk to her, confirming Ren's suspicions. Despite his reservations, Ren defends Touko, saying she's actually nice despite her gloomy aura. Suddenly, a hand taps his shoulder. It's Touko, who tells him they should start collecting the printouts. Ren is surprised and realizes she might have heard the earlier conversation. He apologizes, but Touko tells him not to worry as she's fine being alone. He's saddened by her words, so despite his nervousness, he reminds her she isn't alone. They're in the same boat as class reps. Touko grows silent when suddenly, a cheerful classmate hands a printout to her, thanking the two of them for their hard work. Ren, observing the interaction, realizes not everyone is afraid of Touko, making him feel relieved. Touko shares she hasn't done much yet as a class rep, but Ren knows she feels happy about their classmates' words. As Ren is smiling unconsciously, Touko calls him out on it before calling him disgusting. The next day, Ren announces they've set up a collection box for printouts, making it easier for everyone to submit. Inwardly, Touko thinks Ren is thoughtful before loudly expressing her approval. Ren reveals it was actually Higashitani, the guy who's scared of Touko, who came up with the idea. Days later, Ren searches for Touko and spots her handling class rep errands alone. Timidly, he talks to her about it, but she reasons that she has free time, so she took care of it. When Ren asks about the other tasks, she reveals she's already finished them, much to his dismay. Ren apologizes for not helping, but she tells him it's fine. He then asks her to share with him anything on her mind, as he's willing to do his best so they can work together. To his surprise, she questions why they need to do things together when it's not necessary. Touko says she wants Ren to get used to her but sees no point in being together more than needed. Seeing Ren struggle to answer, Touko asks why he joined the class committee if he's not good with people. Taken aback, Ren nervously confesses that he always wanted a friend but is afraid of people, a trait he despises in himself. He believes that if he tries hard enough, he'll change, and since he's not good with people, it's why he joined the class committee. Touko seems baffled by his logic, but Ren only continues, expressing his desire to do things together with Touko to get to know her better. Once again, Ren apologizes for not being much help. Touko calls him weird, much to his shock, before explaining that, having been a class rep since last year, she naturally finishes errands faster. She assures him it's not his fault and that she's used to it. Touko acknowledges she can't do everything and tells him she'll reach out if she needs help, leaving him thankful. When he mentions the papers Touko is holding, she explains it's this week's handout. Only to be corrected by Ren, he says it's actually next week's, and Katu is currently looking for this week's printouts. Upset, Touko nears Ren and berates him for not telling her that first, but at least Ren finally gets to help her with something, putting up the printouts as Katu supervises them. At lunchtime, while Ren sleeps on his desk, Touko stares at him, indifferent to the baffled chatter of their classmates around them. Their homeroom teacher wants to talk to them, so she reaches out to wake Ren when he suddenly mumbles her name. He talks in his sleep, saying thank you and sorry. Touko stares at him, realizing he does the same things even in his dreams. Touko retreats and leaves, handling all the assigned duties herself. Unfortunately, the books turn out to be too heavy, causing her to stumble. Just as she falls, someone saves her. She whips her head around only to see Ren, who steadies her and asks if she's okay. Despite her shaking hands, Touko slaps his hands off her, brushing off his concern. Ren doesn't take offense, only happy she's alright. As Ren is curious about the books on the floor, Touko reveals the teacher had asked them to bring them to class. He tells her she should have told him, as he would have helped her, but she says he was fast asleep and she didn't want to disturb him. When Ren apologizes, Touko admits it's her fault too, thinking she was too soft-hearted to wake him. Ren offers to carry all the books and Touko agrees before apologizing. Ren tells her there's no need, so Touko thanks him instead. Later, when Ren struggles under the weight of the books, Touko tells him they're all for Katu's personal use, making him wonder if that's part of their duties. On a rainy day after finishing their class rep duties, Touko and Ren bid each other goodbye. Touko leaves first, shocking Ren when she steps out into the rain without an umbrella. He quickly calls her back and a soaking wet Touko obeys. When he asks where her umbrella is, she admits she didn't bring one, making Ren worried. She insists it's okay since her bag's contents won't get wet, but he tells her that's not the point. He suggests she call someone from home, but she replies there's no one at home at that time of the day. Blushing at her wet appearance, Ren offers her his umbrella. He had considered sharing it with her, but the happy scenario he's imagining seems unlikely to happen. Touko refuses, not wanting Ren to get wet and catch a cold. Unsure how to convince her, he tries to point out she'll get sick instead if she doesn't take it. Unfortunately, she remains stubborn. Seeing his classmate Obara, Ren asks her to accompany Touko before instructing his fellow class rep to change her clothes to avoid getting sick. With Obara's help, Touko changes into her jersey and returns to the entrance just as Ren arrives. He hands her another umbrella, saying he borrowed it. Touko stares at him, expressing doubt that Ren has friends. Seeing his exhausted form, drenched shoes, and bag, Touko feels touched and accepts the umbrella. Shyly, she thanks him, her grateful expression making Ren's heart skip. After bidding each other goodbye again, Ren leaves first. It's then that Touko notices the price tag on the umbrella, realizing Ren is a terrible liar. Obara, who turns out to be a raincoat girl, comments that Ren is so kind. In an isolated corner under the stairs, Ren eats his lunch alone, out of sight from everyone else. To his surprise, Touko finds him. Ren is flustered, asking why she came to find him. After a moment of silence, Touko admits that she had always wondered where he went whenever he disappeared at lunch. Ren explains he frequents the place because not many people come there. After a bit of contemplation, Touko asks if he's feeling anxious about what happened earlier. Initially, Ren insists he's fine, but Touko sees right through him, saying he's easy to read. Earlier, right before lunch, Class A's representatives approached them. Class A's president, Onuma, immediately assumed Touko was Class B's president before his vice president, Murai, corrected him. She mentioned there were two class presidents in Class B, making Onuma look at Ren doubtfully. Bluntly, he stated that Ren looked boring, and it didn't even occur to him that the other guy could be a president. Ren is shocked by his words, but Onuma and Murai don't care, and eventually leave. At the moment, Ren is visibly affected by Onuma's words. And Touko correctly guesses that's why he's hiding. Ren admits he's worried even though he does his best as one of Class B's presidents. He feels like other people don't see him since he's just that kind of guy. Touko, seeing his distress, tries to comfort him. Seemingly randomly, she tells him that she believes food is best before you eat it. She used to think it's a waste to eat something delicious looking because it'll just disappear into your stomach. But once she eats it, she realizes there's no point in thinking about what you can't see. Touko tells Ren that since everyone is different, there's no point in overthinking every single thing they say and think. Her words resonate with Ren, who recalls thoughts of his past self. After Touko is done talking, he can't help but ask if she's trying to cheer him up. Even though she denies it, Ren is touched and chuckles, catching Touko's attention. Ren inwardly thinks he's made her worried and points out that Touko is not like her usual self. But she says she has no idea what he's talking about. The next day, Onuma visits Class B again, intending to talk to their class reps. He addresses Ren first but gets cut off when Katu thanks Ren for his help yesterday. Touko watches as Onuma gets interrupted again by Hishigatani this time, who's thanking Ren for helping him with his assignment. Onuma falls silent, observing Ren, who finally turns to him. Murai advises Onuma they should come back later, which he agrees to. Having seen Ren in a new light, Onuma apologizes to him, saying he had been rude last time. Ren is confused but gets distracted when Touko comments that Class A has a lot of free time. On another day, Obara approaches Touko, hoping to talk with the class reps. Noticing Ren's absence, Obara wonders where he is. As she's referring to him by a nickname, Touko's curiosity is piqued. Obara explains that she's been calling Ren Bata-kun because of how he always flails around in class, Bata-bata being a Japanese term for flailing around. Just then, Ren arrives and hears the nickname Obara is calling him. Immediately he freezes, his body shaking, much to the confusion of the two girls. It turns out that Ren is crying, too overjoyed at having earned a nickname, which is a sign of friendship. Clutching Touko's arm, Obara encourages her to call Ren by the nickname as well, making him think that they're quite close. Touko stares at him before unfortunately refusing, making Ren realize with disappointment that she hadn't even called him by his name before. He's pulled out of his thoughts when Obara asks Touko if she has any nicknames, impressing Ren with her boldness. At first, Touko says she doesn't have any, to which Obara says it's okay while Ren just listens. But then, memories of the past come rushing at Touko. Hesitantly, she reveals that in the past her family used to call her Toichi, her smile catching Ren's attention. With a squeal, Obara exclaims that it's a cute nickname, while Ren continues to be awed at seeing Touko smile for the first time. She notices him staring, but Ren quickly says nothing is up. He watches enviously as Obara asks if she can call Touko by her nickname, which Touko doesn't mind. Ren continues to be impressed by Obara's forwardness and wonders if he and Touko can call each other by their nicknames too. But his hopes are dashed when she turns to him and firmly says not to call her by any nickname. Disappointed, Ren says he understands. After school, Ren spaces out as he watches Touko help Obara with cleaning duties. He recalls how Touko had revealed the nickname her family called her in the past. With a bit of longing, Ren reflects that, unlike him, Touko gets along well with her family. Just then, Obara approaches Ren saying she envies Touko for being so big. While Obara is referring to Touko's height, Ren, thinking of something else, adds that Touko is quite tender too, intriguing Obara. Shocked, Obara asks if Ren has done it with Touko, making him blush hard. Tapping his shoulder, a scary-looking Touko tells Ren to clean, making him apologize in fear, while Obara makes a swift exit by volunteering to take out the trash. While thinking he's done it again, Touko looks at him before asking if he's okay since he looks quite distracted. Quickly, Ren assures her that he's alright. Touko then informs him that Katu wants them to stay behind again. Suddenly, Ren receives a message from his sister telling him to come home soon. Ren muses that even if he does, it's not like he and his sister talk much anyway. When Obara returns, she insists on helping the class reps with cleaning, but Touko tells her she doesn't have to do that. Ren watches the banter between the two and returns to cleaning, deciding to disobey his sister this once. When Ren arrives home, he tries to sneak into his room, but his sister catches him in the act. She asks why he didn't come home right away, also commenting on how he's leaving for school earlier and coming home later than before. Her questions about his activities at school and insistence that he study make Ren shout, startling her. He says it's none of her business, taking her aback. He hurriedly enters his room, not listening to his sister calling his name. While she processes what just happened, Ren muses how his sister doesn't know he's been a loner at school this whole time. Since they started living together, Ren's sister has become stricter, to the point that he had to call her every time he needed to do something. All she wants him to do is study, so if she knows that he became a class rep, he's sure she'll tell him to quit. Ren doesn't want to, as he still wants to make friends, and being a class rep is fun for him. Behind his door, his sister thinks Ren is hiding someone. Tabata Suzu, age 23, is teary-eyed, thinking Ren is rebelling and maybe even hates her. The next day, Ren wonders if he still has class rep duties when Touko suddenly crashes into him. Touko pants while Ren blushes, the two of them ending up on the floor with her on top of him. Distractedly, Ren apologizes, but Touko, without regard to their compromising position, asks if he's seen a steel badge, looking gloomier than usual. She reveals the badge is important as it belongs to her family. Their moment is broken when students around them begin to chatter, appalled at their position. After getting up, Ren assures Touko that if he finds it, he'll let her know, which she thanks him for. Seeing how bothered Touko is, Ren resolves to do his best. After school, he immediately starts looking for it inside the classroom. When he accidentally kicks something on the floor, he realizes it might be the badge and chases after it. But then, somebody picks it up. It's Murai from Class A. She asks if it's his, and Ren nervously says yes. Murai hands it to him and he quickly bolts away, leaving her staring at him. Meanwhile, Touko is also looking for her badge, appearing quite worried. Just then, Ren calls out to her, excitedly showing her the badge he found. Touko's eyes widen and she immediately grabs his hand, making the startled Ren blush. Clutching the badge, she then hugs it to her chest. With a relieved smile, Touko thanks him, and Ren is awed by the happy expression she's wearing. When he asks if Touko is close to her family, she reveals she is. Ren clenches his hand, saying he's glad she found the badge before admitting he's envious of her. Seeing Touko curious, he reveals that he has a sister he doesn't get along with well. Ren seems quite sad to the observant Touko. To his surprise, she says his envy is a good thing as it means he likes his sister. She advises him to face his sister, and Ren realizes she's right. He expresses his gratitude for her wise words while Touko thanks him again for finding her badge. The two then bid each other goodbye. At home, Ren approaches Suzu, apologizing for making her feel bad the other day. Ren is looking regretful while his sister at first seems at a loss of what to say. Acting all tsundere, Suzu says she doesn't care about what happened and rants about knowing Ren isn't a child anymore. Knowing Suzu is just acting unaffected, Ren apologizes again. Inwardly, Suzu feels relieved until Ren reveals he joined the class committee a while ago with a girl. Scandalized, Suzu reacts negatively to how he's constantly with a girl. The next day, Ren tells Touko what happened, concluding that overall he thinks the conversation with his sister went well. Touko asks if he really had to call her over by the stairs just to tell this story. Ren reasons he didn't want anyone else to hear and that he only wanted to talk to her. When Touko asks if Ren told his sister that he liked her, he's taken aback. At her questioning gaze, he admits it's hard to do it directly, though he does feel that their relationship is getting better. Seeing how Touko is genuinely curious, Ren wonders if she wants his relationship with Suzu to improve. Unexpectedly, Obara appears, suddenly asking Ren who he likes. She thinks the two of them are talking about love matters. Just then, Ren remembers Katu wants to see him during lunchtime. Touko offers to come with him, but he tells her there's no need before running off. Obara comments that Ren is a good guy, and tells Touko she didn't know the two hang out by the stairs. Obara then praises Touko for being a good friend to Ren by helping with his problems. Emotionlessly, Touko asks a surprised Obara who she's referring to as a good friend, revealing that she and Ren aren't even friends. Obara doesn't know how to respond but observes Touko isn't kidding, her confusion clear. Touko comments that Ren probably thinks the same. Just then, Ren arrives, saying Katu wants to meet with Touko as well. Observing them, Obara giggles in amusement. When the two class reps ask her what's up, she tells them nothing. As usual, Touko goes through her morning routine before heading to school, showering, blow-drying her hair, and getting dressed. On her way out of the house, she's greeted by her black cat, Tama, making her smile. After petting the cat, she opens the front door and is greeted by hot, sweltering weather. Looking gloomily outside, she realizes she needs to put on sunscreen. At school, as the classroom is feeling warm, Ren is thankful for his summer uniform. When Touko arrives, Ren is alarmed to see her immediately slump on her desk, completely drained of energy. He wonders why she's gloomier than usual when Obara arrives, cheerful as ever. Obara reveals that she loves summer, saying there are so many fun things to do during the hot season. She invites Touko to go out with her but notices Touko's weary state. It's then that Touko reveals she gets weak when it's hot. Discovering another side to Touko, the other two try to comfort her. Obara correctly guesses that Touko likes winter, which the latter doesn't deny. During lunch, Ren is approached by a classmate, Machida Shizuku, who asks if the class presidents are working overtime again. She tells him that they seem so close that their classmates think they come as a set. While Ren insists they aren't that friendly, Touko gloomily asks if they really look that way to others. Shizuku doesn't think she's mistaken and asks what they're doing. Ren reveals that since there's going to be a seat reshuffling soon, they're preparing materials for the lottery. Shizuku says it's too soon to change seats, and Ren agrees, but Katu has a different idea. Shizuku is amazed that the class reps are always staying behind and tells them not to overdo it. She offers her help addressing Touko, but the other girl only thanks her and says she's fine. After Shizuku leaves, Ren is told by Touko that it's good Ren that he made a good friend, but he insists he's not even close to Shizuku. Touko believes otherwise, but Ren explains he hasn't talked much with Shizuku, so they're not friends at all. When he reveals the person he talks to the most is Touko, she concludes he doesn't have friends, which Ren can't deny. He then admits he's going to feel a bit lonely since they'll be changing seats soon, as it's because of their current seats that he got to talk with her. Touko agrees before standing up, saying she's done with her task. The next day, Katu has everyone draw their new assigned seats. Ren's new seat is by the window, with Obara seated close by. To his surprise, Touko's new seat is right behind him. Touko hopes they'll continue to get along as seatmates, a sentiment Ren returns. Beside her, Obara is ecstatic that she's sitting beside Touko now. Unfortunately, due to her new seat, Touko is even more exposed to the sun. On another scorching day, Obara helps Touko cool down with her mini-fan, advising her to get one like it. Ren is about to say something to Touko when Shizuku interrupts, apologizing for being late as she hands him her printout. She asks if Ren is staying late again, all the while Touko watches them. Ren says yes, and Shizuku wishes them good luck before leaving. Obara, watching the whole exchange, narrows her eyes. In the following days, Shizuku often inserts herself into conversations between Touko and Ren, which Obara notices. A contemplative Obara asks Ren if he knew Shizuku, and he explains they were in the same class last year, adding that he feels like Shizuku has been talking to him a lot lately. Obara leaves and quickly confronts Shizuku about constantly coming between Touko and Ren. Shizuku wonders if she went too far, which Obara vehemently confirms. Obara states that since the two are getting closer, Shizuku should just leave them alone. Shizuku replies that she finds them interesting and adds how cute it is that two gloomy people are on the class committee together. She just can't resist watching them up close. When Obara expresses her disapproval, Shizuku argues that Obara is even worse for sticking closer to Touko. Flustered, Obara says she was just having fun. Eventually, Shizuku agrees not to sneak between Touko and Ren recklessly, while Obara declares they should watch the two quietly and hope they become friends someday. Shizuku is stunned, expecting more of a romantic development than what Obara hints at. She's baffled that the two class reps aren't even friends, which Obara confirms. Unbeknownst to the two girls, Touko passes by, thinking they should pipe down. Just then, she encounters Ren, who's about to have lunch at his usual place by the stairs. Touko remembers Obara and Shizuku's loud voices and advises Ren not to go there today. While heading toward the classroom, Touko wonders if Ren's lunches are always from convenience stores, to which he says yes. He reveals that since he and his sister are hopelessly bad at cooking, they buy everything they eat. Hesitatingly, Touko talks about her brother who, like Ren and his sister, eats convenience store food a lot, and how she managed to teach him how to cook a little. She's about to offer cooking lessons to Ren when Shizuku suddenly appears, making Touko jump. While Obara is annoyed at Shizuku interrupting the class reps again, Ren asks Touko what she was about to say earlier. She only says that he should start cooking for himself, then quickly departs, leaving a confused Ren while Shizuku regrets her interruption. The next day, Touko shows Ren an app with easy recipes to try out. Ren is grateful and shares that his sister is also trying to learn how to cook. When Touko notices Ren staring at her chest, she glares at him, making him apologize quickly. After Ren explains that he noticed animal hair on Touko's shirt, Touko reveals it's from her pet, a black cat named Tama. Ren finds it interesting that she gave the cat that name, making Touko curious. Inwardly, Touko muses that Ren has sharp eyes. Suddenly, he says he has a cat too. Showing her a picture, Ren reveals the white cat used to live at his parents' house. When Touko notices he used past tense, Ren reveals the cat had already passed away. Touko apologizes, but he tells her it's okay. As they continue talking about cats, Touko thinks it's fun to talk with Ren. When he points out how her icon in the messaging app is a cat, Touko explains she tends to select cats as her icons and even shows Ren a picture of Tama. Ren is amazed, awed at seeing Touko in casual clothes. When she shows him another pic of her sleeping with the cat, Ren thinks they look cute together. Touko becomes enthused, sharing more cat pics with Ren and even smiling, which Ren is glad to see. He then shares something interesting. His white cat was called Tama too. Not too far away, Shizuku observes the two are happier than usual while Obara reminds her not to disturb them. The two don't seem to mind that they might look suspicious hiding behind the door. Shizuku says Touko and Ren should exchange pictures and chat, which Obara agrees would be fun. As Touko lies unconscious on a bed outside the infirmary, Ren is worried. Katu assures him that she's fine and has already woken up, which relieves Ren. He admits he was surprised to hear Touko collapsed, and didn't expect her to be terrible at sports, which was why she had fainted. Katu, amused, comments that Touko hasn't changed since last year. Then, with a teasing tone, Katu mentions hearing that Ren carried Touko to the infirmary. Flustered, he explains that he just happened to be nearby, but Katu is convinced he's not being entirely truthful. After the teacher leaves, Ren enters the infirmary where Touko is indeed awake. She assures him that she's okay and will be back to class that afternoon. Ren, relieved, suggests that since they have no class rep duties after school, it's best for her to get home soon so she can rest. Touko agrees, and a silence envelops them, making Ren realize they've never been alone in the infirmary before. Touko then asks who brought her to the infirmary, and Ren hesitates to answer. He remembers how he panicked and carried her after she collapsed. In the end, he lies and says it was another girl who carried her. After another round of silence, Touko apologizes, saying she needs to clean up, causing Ren to blush and quickly leave. As Touko wipes her body, she recalls a hazy memory of Ren carrying her in his arms earlier and hopes she wasn't too heavy. Later that night, Suzu is doing the laundry when she spots something alarming. Meanwhile, Ren receives a picture from Touko of herself and Tama. Below the picture is a message from Touko, apologizing for bothering him earlier. Ren muses she must have realized it was him who carried her. Suddenly, Suzu barges into his room worried about the blood on his shirt. Ren quickly assures her the blood isn't his, exclaiming she needs to put her clothes on. In hindsight, Ren realizes that the blood must have been Touko's. On another day, Ren talks enthusiastically with Hishigatani about a game they both love, Sumipazu, catching Touko's attention. The two guys are fanboying over a character designed by an illustrator named NER, whom Ren admires. Their excitement piques Touko's curiosity, and she attempts to take a peek at the character they're discussing. Suddenly, Hishigatani notices the scary-looking Touko and freaks out, quickly retreating away. Several days later, Touko is in the bookstore having just picked up a book she wants to read. When she spots the art book of the game Ren is a fan of, she thinks she really doesn't care what the other class rep likes, but admits she's a bit curious about the illustrations. As she takes a peek inside, Touko notices someone watching her. While Suzu looks instantly guilty, Touko wonders why the older woman is watching her. Suzu is mortified she's been noticed, but she just couldn't help but see what kind of person would buy the art book. When Touko asks if Suzu wants the book, the latter exclaims there's been a misunderstanding. She admits she's actually involved in the game depicted in the book, revealing that she's NER, an illustrator for Sumipazu. Later during a walk, Suzu explains why she was observing Touko earlier and inwardly muses that she's revealed her identity as NR to another person, when even Ren doesn't know about it yet. She observes that Touko looks quite mature and a bit gloomy. When Suzu expresses that she feels bad for having Touko buy the book, the younger girl says she doesn't mind as she loves the cute illustrations. Suzu feels touched and thanks her, but she becomes shocked a second later when Touko reveals she doesn't play the game. Touko tells her she admires people who draw because she's terrible at it. Suzu's thoughts drift, wondering if there will be a day when she can finally reveal to Ren that she's NER. She doesn't want him to become like her, and it's why she wants him to focus on studying. Eventually, Suzu hands Touko her business card and thanks her for her kind words earlier. Before leaving, Suzu offers Touko drawing lessons, which the latter says she'll think about. That night, Suzu is inspired to cook, declaring she'll follow the app Ren recommended to her. As expected, her cooking is disastrous. Meanwhile, Touko thinks NER seems quite familiar. While the class reps are distributing printouts, Ren moves quickly and efficiently, which Touko notices. She mentions it to Ren, who reveals he remembered everyone's seats since the last reshuffling. Additionally, he admits to having memorized all their classmates' names since they became class reps, making Touko apologize as she hasn't yet. Suddenly, Ren feels someone is staring at him. Touko remembers she's from Class A while Ren recalls her name, Vice President Mirai. Inwardly, Touko is impressed by his memory, while Mirai hands Ren the questionnaires Class B needs to fill out. Mirai stares at him, making Ren nervous before muttering that it's unfair. Glaring, she loudly says it's unfair that the two of them get to be both class presidents. Ren is shocked, and Touko gives Mirai a questioning look. Mirai asks why both of them decided to become president. Ren reveals they both nominated themselves for the position and didn't back down, which Touko confirms. As Mirai grows more curious, Katu overhears their conversation. Looking at each other, both give their reasons. Touko says it's because Katu asked her to do it, while Ren admits he wanted to talk to people and make friends. Inwardly, he wonders if Mirai wants to be Class A's president, but only says out loud that their being both class presidents was something Katu approved, and their classmates agreed with. Mirai is unimpressed that everyone would trust a peeping Tom, but Ren exclaims that what happened before was just an accident. Touko sighs, disappointed that he's still doing those kinds of things, flustering Ren. To Tuko's confusion, Mirai stares at her chest before asking why she doesn't have them smaller when they're the same age. Getting back to the topic, she asks if one of them wants to properly become the president. Who will it be? Ren doesn't hesitate to say that Touko should take the position as she does her job quickly and efficiently, while Touko disagrees, pointing out that Ren has more motivation, learns things faster, and is more well-liked by everyone in class. Outside the door, Katu cries, happy that both of her class reps have grown so much. After observing them, Mirai reveals she's really envious as she also wanted to be someone everyone depends on like the class president. Finally, Ren asks if she wants to become one, which she honestly admits but says Onuma was already chosen by her class. When Ren wonders if she gets along with him, Mirai says it's complicated, revealing that Onuma has a lot of faults and she constantly ends up being burdened by them. At this rate, she says she can't tell which one of them is the president. Touko says it's good that Mirai has that kind of mentality, revealing that she and Ren are not preoccupied with their positions and instead focus on fulfilling their duties. Ren backs her up, saying she should rely more on Onuma and not think too hard about who holds which position. At Murai's silence, Ren muses how he understands how she feels, as he felt overlooked often in the past. Mirai says she gets it. With a grin, she concludes that she just needs to work hard like a class president and overtake that position. After she quickly leaves, Ren feels like he made a mistake in conveying what he actually meant, but Touko thinks it's fine, seeing as Mirai became more optimistic. Behind the doors, Katu is cheering for both of her class presidents. After class, Ren carries a heavy box into a room and calls out to Touko if she's okay. She tells him she's alright, while Ren admires the sight of her in gym clothes. When he asks if she's tired, she points out that it's cloudy today, hinting she doesn't feel weak from the heat at all. Looking at all the books they've carried, Ren wonders what's going on. Just then, Katu arrives, apologizing for asking for their help. Ren says they've gotten used to it and questions what the teacher's plans are for the books. Katu reveals it's for a club room, explaining she's actually the advisor of the literature club. Ren recalls that Katu was a sports teacher who got bored and decided to pursue humanities. Thinking she's quite the oddball, Ren says out loud that he doesn't think this is the job of a class representative. Just then, Katu reveals something. Though the two of them are class presidents, formally it's Ren who's the official Class B president. Ren is shocked, claiming he should have been told about it sooner. Though Touko is glad for him, Ren asks her how she feels about the revelation. Touko says he's going to be fine, and besides, him being the president is just a formality. The two of them will still do the duties together. Relieved, Ren hopes they'll continue doing their best together, making Katu nod in approval. Unexpectedly, Mirai arrives, hearing the whole conversation. Ren insists he didn't know he was formally the class president the last time they talked. When he asks why Mirai is there, Katu reveals that she's actually the president of the literature club. Ren is impressed as Mirai also has her duties as Class A's representative. Touko asks if the other members are coming, but Mirai reveals she's the only member of the club. Sheepishly, Katu admits it's the reason she needed Touko and Ren's help. The four of them then get to work carrying everything that needs to be moved into the new club room. Ren is exhausted, belatedly thinking they should have borrowed a cart. With a jolt, he remembers something. Sumipazu's in-game event had started today. Coincidentally, Mirai also plays the game and plans to do the events as well. To everyone's surprise, she brags she actually ranked 10 in the previous event. Not to be outdone, Ren boasts that he had already unlocked the abilities of all the endgame characters, which Mirai admires him for. Katu joins as well, saying she also plays the game but not as much as her two students. When Mirai asks if Touko plays Sumipazu, she reveals she doesn't, wondering if the game costs money. Ren replies you can play it for free, though there's paid content, where he admits to spending money from his part-time job. Touko is shocked to hear that he has one, quite curious about it. Ren asks if Mirai has a part-time job, to which she reveals she does. However, it is Katu who announces that Mirai works at a maid cafe, much to Ren's shock. Embarrassed, Mirai tells them to keep it a secret. When the topic returns to Sumipazu, Touko feels left out. After some consideration, she reveals that she actually knows NER, the game's illustrator. While the other two students are floored, Touko resolves to contact NER again. At home, Suzu suddenly sneezes. The next day, Obara congratulates Ren on being the class president, but he quickly corrects her, saying he's been Class B's president from the start. Shizuku wonders how Katu made the decision, and an exasperated Ren reveals it was through a game called Amida Kuji, or Ghost Leg. Obara asks if there will be any changes, but Touko assures her no, saying she'll still be handling the usual duties. To Ren's questioning glance, Obara bluntly says she doesn't want to see him speaking in front of everyone, preferring Touko to do it, which he thinks is a bit harsh. Touko reassures him, saying Ren is someone that does what is needed. Obara claims Touko and Ren have a give-and-take relationship, which Shizuku thinks is a good thing. When Obara and Shizuku are called to lunch by their respective friends, Touko sighs in relief. Ren apologizes for making her worry, but she tells him it's fine. Ren knows his responsibilities are going to add up but remains determined to do his best. Touko notices he looks terrified and wonders if he's going to freak out even when giving a simple announcement in front of the class. Noticing that lunchtime is about to end, Touko decides to eat while Ren decides to forego eating at the place under the stairs for today. He freezes, realizing he forgot his lunch. Ren decides he'll just skip eating lunch and only have drinks. Hearing this, Touko offers some of her food from her bento. Ren is shocked and, seeing her cute bento, becomes impressed. Ren hesitates before refusing her offer since he doesn't want to trouble her and he hasn't brought chopsticks. Still, he's happy Touko is being considerate. Musing, Touko calls his name, and when he turns his head, she feeds him an egg roll from her bento using her chopsticks. Ren is taken aback, not expecting this. Touko insists that if he doesn't eat now, he won't make it later, especially with all they have to do. She tells him to think more about himself, reminding him of Obara's words earlier, that they have a give-and-take relationship as class reps. Touko tells him to accept people's kindness honestly, and Ren agrees. Obara and Shizuku, who hear that Ren forgot his lunch, also share some of their food. Hishigatani, however, has already eaten all of his. School has ended, and Ren walks through the hallway musing about how busy they've become. On top of that, he's getting invitations to join the literature club from Katu and Mirai, which Touko has already bluntly turned down. He's pulled from his thoughts when he hears a loud, cheerful voice coming from their classroom. It's Touko, looking lively and smiling as she talks on her phone. Ren is shocked, the sight so unbelievable that he rubs his eyes. However, what he's seeing doesn't change. Touko looks like a different girl with that happy and excited expression. Just then, Katu spots him by the door, asking why he hasn't gone home yet. Ren says he was about to, but Touko is on her phone and it's hard for him to enter the room and get his bag when she's making the kind of face he's never seen before. Katu reveals that Touko frequently smiles whenever she chats with her, especially when they're talking about Touko's older brother. Since Touko is quite close to him, Katu believes he might be the one she's talking to right now. Curious, Ren asks how Katu and Touko became close. The teacher reveals she used to teach Touko's older brother and saw Touko for the first time when he graduated. Katu recalls how her old student asked her to take care of his sister as well. The teacher states that Touko can get pretty lively when talking about her brother. Ren is curious if both siblings are similar, which Katu immediately confirms. Touko is just as gloomy as her older brother. She reveals that Touko has gotten better, but Ren thinks it's because she's talking to Katu. The teacher believes Touko is actually cheerful when she's with friends, saying it's probably due to the influence of those around her. Ren doesn't quite believe it, but he already knows Touko won't give him a happy expression like the one he saw earlier. He's about to enter the room when Touko gives him a scary expression, giving him quite the fright. When she asks what he was doing, he says he heard she was on call and admits he took a peek. It takes a bit of time before Touko realizes what he saw. Ren remains nervous, but when Touko blushes and pouts, calling him cheeky, it feels like he's been hit by a truck. He immediately apologizes and leaves to get his bag, making Katu huff. Touko asks her teacher if she has been talking with Ren, which the older woman doesn't deny. Touko tells her that Ren is about to go home, all the while having a gentle smile on her face. Curious, she asks her teacher what she and Ren had been talking about. Katu lies and says they were just discussing some worldly issues. On a weekend, Ren stares at a cat bank, contemplating whether he should buy it. Suddenly, hands cover his eyes. When he turns around, he realizes it's Obara, who's teasing him for his surprised reaction. Currently, the two of them are in a Zaka store which sells miscellaneous items. Just then, Ren spots Touko, noting that it's his first time seeing her in casual clothes. According to Touko, Obara wants to study at her house as she had feared she might fail the upcoming test. Before heading over, Obara wanted to look around the area first, which is how they ran into each other. Curious, Obara asks if Ren is looking to buy something. He confides that his sister's birthday is coming soon, so he was looking for a present to buy her, which Obara thinks it's sweet of him. Ren is considering something cat-related, like a cat bank, and Touko agrees it's a good idea, much to his relief. When he asks the others for some advice, the girls are eager to help him. After browsing, Ren is called by Touko, who suggests buying a cat bag, but Ren inwardly doubts his sister will use it. Obara proposes a cat statue for protection, but Ren thinks a bronze statue wouldn't fit in their house. Her next suggestion, a cat cosplay, is quickly dismissed as inappropriate given his sister's strict nature. Ren admits he's unsure what present will make Suzu happy, realizing he doesn't really know much about his sister at all. Touko assures him he's probably overthinking it. Ren admits he already has an idea, but he's still undecided. Touko reminds him that it's difficult to think about what another person's thoughts are, emphasizing that choosing a gift that reminds you of the person is what truly matters. Touko is convinced that whatever present Ren is going to buy, his sister will like it. Feeling better, Ren thanks her before asking if Touko plans to buy something for her brother as well. She says yes, but she'll just ask him directly what he wants. She confides that thinking about how happy her brother will be makes her happy as well. Once again, Ren muses how close Touko is to her brother. Nearby, Obara spots the two having a conversation and sneakily takes a picture of them. In the end, Ren buys a stuffed toy cat that speaks and moves, which the girls find adorable. Touko tells a reluctant Obara they need to get going. Obara tries to persuade Ren to help her study as well, but he declines, having other things to do. Outside the store, Ren takes a rest on a bench trying to escape the heat. He thinks about Touko, knowing she must be struggling in the hot weather. While lost in his thoughts, a hat suddenly smacks him in the face. Startled, he looks around and sees a little girl searching for something. As he approaches her to return the hat, Ren's eyes widen when she turns around. She's not a little kid at all. She claims that it's her hat and thanks him, but Ren can't immediately reply, still in shock. Later, the woman joins Ren on the bench waiting for someone. Looking at her, Ren is surprised to realize she's older than him, a university student. Just then, he notices the metal badge on her hat and recalls that Touko has a similar one. When he asks about it, she reveals it was a gift, just like Touko's. Ren is surprised when she addresses him as boy, and seems vaguely familiar with him. Meanwhile, at Touko's house, Obara enjoys the air conditioning. Touko urges her to start studying, but Obara wants to cool off a bit more. Touko warns she might get a low grade, prompting Obara to change her tune and declare she'll start studying. Just then, a black cat enters the room. Obara tries to play with her, but Tama runs away. Obara remembers that both Touko's and Ren's siblings like cats. She admits she can't imagine Ren having a strict sister and wonders if she's similar to him. Touko thinks it's possible. Unbeknownst to them, Suzu sneezes, thinking she might have caught a cold. Back at Touko's house, Obara shares that she has a brother too, but he doesn't speak to her at all. When she asks about Touko's brother, Touko describes him as a normal person. Obara wonders if they are similar. Touko hesitates before saying that perhaps she and her brother Yuto are maybe a bit similar. Back at the park, the woman, having been told by Ren about his gift to Suzu, praises him for being thoughtful. Her easygoing personality makes him think she must have a lot of friends. To his shock, the stranger accurately reads his thoughts, saying it's all written on his face. She mentions that he resembles her friend, who is also pretty easy to read. Ren responds that he really did think she must have a lot of friends and admits that he doesn't have any. The woman gives him a thoughtful look before saying he'll be fine as long as he doesn't act impatiently. The only advice she can give him. Feeling better, Ren thanks her just as she spots her friend. After she thanks him for his company, Ren remarks that he didn't know she was waiting for her boyfriend. Just then, his attention is captured by an uncannily familiar guy who says he isn't her boyfriend at all, just a friend. Ren stares, Katu's words about Touko's brother rushing to his mind. Meanwhile, Touko tells Obara that she and Yuto might not be so alike, as, after all, he has friends. In Ren's mind, however, the two are remarkably similar. The woman waves goodbye to Ren as she tells her friend that she actually doesn't know the young boy. Still shocked, Ren decides to just go home, exhausted after so many surprises. Back at Touko's house, Obara asks if her brother is a party person, but the other girl replies he isn't like that. He's the type that comes home on his day off, even mentioning that her brother had told her he'd go to the shopping district today. Obara exclaims that he might end up meeting Ren, an idea that Touko doesn't find appealing. Obara thinks the two guys might get along, but Touko believes the possibility of them accidentally talking to each other is impossible. Early in the morning, Touko is woken up by a knock on her door. It's Yuto, telling her that breakfast is ready. Realizing her brother is home, Touko heads downstairs and greets him. He teases her for still being bad at waking up early. She retorts that he's not much better, but Yuto claims he's improved since he can't afford to be late anymore. Flustered, Touko's reply is interrupted when their mother, Mihiro, tells her to eat before her breakfast gets cold. Mihiro guesses Touko is more excited than usual because Yuto is around, making her daughter blush. Trying to act nonchalant, Touko insists she's just being normal. Mihiro turns to Yuto asking how university life is treating him. He replies that everything is fine. She then asks Touko about school and she responds that everything is normal. Mihiro smiles, though she's inwardly exasperated by her family's lack of communication. Still, she's grateful to be with her kids. Observing Touko, Mihiro notices how much she's grown, seeing both her children resemble their father a lot. Mihiro then announces that Touko was assigned to Katu's class and has become a class representative. Yuto immediately guesses that Katu must be relying on his sister a lot, knowing how the teacher operates. Touko admits that Katu is straightforward about what she wants, and Yuto concludes that she hasn't changed a bit. He praises Touko for being a class rep, knowing she works seriously and hard. Inwardly, he notes how she's softened over time. When Yuto mentions missing Katu's energetic personality, Mihiro is suddenly reminded of Yuto's cheerful friend Mao, exclaiming that she wants to see her. Mihiro asks if they're still hanging out, and Yuto confirms they are. Back then, Mao used to visit their place often. While Mihiro continues reminiscing about Mao, Yuto notices Touko's displeased expression. Mihiro asks Touko what's wrong, but she insists it's nothing, leading Yuto to think his sister probably doesn't get along well with his friend. Mihiro suggests that Touko can invite the guy friend she's been messaging to their home as well, making Touko blush furiously. Yuto comments that it's unexpected for Touko to be talking to a boy in line, causing her to quiver in mortification. She insists that Ren is just a fellow class rep and that's why they need to chat often, while Yuto wonders what the boy is like. One evening, Suzu arrives home and as usual, Ren is there to greet her. To her surprise, he sets off a party popper and wishes her a happy birthday. As he hands her a present, Suzu freezes, still processing what's happening. While she regains her composure, Ren cheerfully informs her that he also made dinner. Overwhelmed, Suzu excuses herself and heads to her room, leaving Ren to ponder why her reaction isn't quite what he expected. Inside her room, Suzu loses her self-control and begins to sob at how thoughtful Ren is. She had actually forgotten her birthday was coming up, but Ren, on top of getting her a present, also cooked for her. Suzu feels blessed and thankful to have such an incredible brother. Regretting her earlier panic, she receives a call from Touko, who wishes her a happy birthday. Surprised that Touko knows about her birthday, Suzu learns that she found out through Line. Touko then comments on Suzu's trembling voice. Suzu explains that she got emotional because her brother wants to celebrate her birthday, which makes her happy. She confides that she's been strict lately and thought her brother was avoiding her, so his gesture means the world to her. Touko assures Suzu that her brother just wants to express his gratitude, noting how caring he is toward her. Her words bring tears to Suzu's eyes again, and she exclaims how Touko is such a good kid, making Touko flustered. Touko shares that she knows someone in a similar situation and adds that she also loves her family. Comforted, Suzu reflects on how her brother has matured. He's joined the class committee and even approached her to talk about it. She realizes it's time to face Ren head-on as his sister. Suzu apologizes to Touko for getting distracted and thanks her for the call. Touko then reveals she also wanted to ask her for a favor, to teach her how to play sumipazu. As she feels apologetic about the request, Suzu says it's fine. She admits she's yet to play the game and asks why Touko isn't asking her friends. Recalling the sumipazu fanatics from school, Touko insists it has to be Suzu who teaches her, which the older woman doesn't mind. After both express their gratitude, Suzu suddenly hears a loud pop, alarming her enough to end the call. She rushes to find Ren and becomes shocked when she's splashed with liquor. Ren is soaked while Suzu is drenched on the floor. Nervously, he apologizes, but to his surprise, his strict sister only smiles brightly. On a field trip to the beach, Katu instructs her students not to stray too far from the group before rushing off to go swimming herself. 2 hours earlier, Ren gave out instructions for their beach cleanup activity. Obara complained about picking up trash when they're at the beach, but Ren reminded her that the field trip is about environmental preservation. He also promised they'd have plenty of free time after the activity, which made Obara enthusiastic. She planned to have fun with Touko, who was not looking excited at all. Obara reminded her they bought swimsuits, then turned to Ren, asking if he was curious to see Touko in one. Flustered, he denied it before Touko urged them to get to work. Now in the present, the class is enjoying their free time. Ren gets hit with a beach ball in the face by Obara, who sparkles in her swimsuit. As Ren blushes, Obara asks if he's looking for something. Tapping his shoulder, Shizuku, also in her swimsuit, guesses he must be looking for Touko, which he confirms. He explains he was worried since she looked tired earlier, but unfortunately, Shizuku doesn't know where she is. Mirai chimes in, saying she saw Touko taking shelter under the tree's shade. When Shizuku comments on Mirai's plain school swimsuit, Mirai argues that she and the other girls are being too flashy, but Shizuku insists they don't want to hide their bodies like Mirai is doing. Ren excuses himself to find Touko, and before he leaves, Shizuku hands him sunscreen, saying Touko forgot hers. Teasingly, she tells Ren to help Touko apply it, making him blush. After wishing him good luck, Ren goes to look for Touko, finally spotting her alone under the shade. As he approaches her, Ren says he was concerned because she looked tired earlier, but Touko assures him she's fine. While Ren struggles to look at her directly, Touko confides that she's scared to join everyone because she doesn't feel confident in her swimsuit. She feels bad since Obara helped her pick it, but it's her first time wearing one in front of everyone. Ren listens patiently, wondering if she's comfortable being with him in her swimsuit. She continues that she doesn't fit in with everyone like he does, and their opinions worry her even though she's told Ren not to mind them. Interrupting her, Ren blushes as he reassures her that she doesn't look strange at all. Touko is surprised and turns to him as he bashfully looks away, saying the swimsuit suits her. Ren muses that Touko also worries about the same things he does. She apologizes but thanks him, saying she feels a lot better now. Seeing her slight smile makes Ren happy. Touko decides to swim but tells Ren she forgot her sunscreen. Remembering Shizuku's words about helping Touko apply it, he huffs as he brings out the bottle. Later, as the rest of the class is having fun, Obara spots Touko and exclaims how cute her swimsuit is, drawing everyone's attention. After Touko thanks Shizuku for the sunscreen, Shizuku asks Ren if he helped Touko with it, but he tells her no. Seeing that Touko is wearing Ren's rash guard, Shizuku muses that perhaps she shouldn't meddle too much. During the school trip, the class is set to have a cooking experience. After Touko gives everyone instructions, she and Ren meet up with the rest of their team to prepare lunch. Together with Shizuku, they're in charge of the vegetables and meat, while Obara and Hishigatani handle the rice. As the rice duo dashes off, Shizuku asks Ren if he cooks. He answers no, explaining that Touko is the one who's good at it, though Touko insists she's not that amazing. Shizuku chimes in, admitting she isn't good at cooking either. Suddenly, Ren is called away by Katu, who needs to gather all the class presidents for a meeting. Touko offers to accompany him, but he assures her it's fine and leaves her alone with Shizuku. The two fall silent until Shizuku breaks it, thanking Touko. Curious, Touko listens as Shizuku reveals that she didn't know what group to join when they were being formed. When she asks why Touko invited her to join them, Touko admits it wasn't her idea, it was Ren's, surprising Shizuku. Back then, Ren had approached Touko suggesting she invite Shizuku to join their group. He reasoned it would be better if she did it. Now Shizuku processes this revelation and comments that Ren is such a nice guy. Touko agrees, acknowledging that he is nice to others, which intrigues Shizuku. After a thoughtful pause, Shizuku praises Ren, saying he's smart, has guts, and works hard. She declares that Ren is actually a pretty good guy, a statement Touko initially hesitates to acknowledge. Huffing, Touko tells Shizuku she's unsure if Ren is truly a good guy if he doesn't intentionally do nice things. Noting Touko's understanding of Ren, Shizuku comments that they know each other pretty well. Touko doesn't quite agree, asking what Shizuku means. Shizuku points out that Ren seems to work extra hard whenever he and Touko are together, but Touko dismisses it as a coincidence. As she remains unconvinced, Shizuku clarifies that her earlier statements are just her opinions. She confides that Obara had told her off for meddling but insists she's rooting for Touko, who starts to glare at her. Later, while they're eating the lunch they prepared, Touko watches Ren, recalling all the nice things he did. Noticing her gaze, Ren asks if there's something on his face, making Touko quickly shake off her thoughts. She tells Ren there's a grain of rice stuck on his face, prompting the others to tease the flustered Ren. On another day, Ren nervously reaches out a trembling hand to press the Sasaki's doorbell but freaks out when he realizes he's shaking too much to actually press it. It all began when a sick Touko was absent from school. Katu wanted Ren to deliver a questionnaire to the ailing student and found it preposterous that Ren didn't know where Touko lived. Obara knew where the Sasakis lived but couldn't help Ren as she had plans after school. Now Ren stands at the door pondering what to do if Touko's family answers. Suddenly, someone greets him from behind. Startled, he turns to see a girl asking if he needs something. Nervous, Ren utters a strange sound before stammering out an introduction and explaining he has printouts for Touko, assuming the girl is her sister. Mihiro quickly figures out who he is and invites him inside, her bubbly nature putting Ren at ease. Mihiro tells Ren she'll call Touko downstairs, but he insists there's no need. However, Touko is already downstairs, looking quite sick. Ren apologizes for intruding and wonders if it's okay for her to be up and about. Mihiro notes that Touko still looks unwell, but Touko states she's feeling better. When Mihiro invites Ren further inside, he quickly says he only came to hand over the printouts, but Mihiro is insistent. Touko also invites him in, finally convincing him. She leads him up to her room where Ren hands her the papers. Nervously glancing around, Ren realizes he's never been in a girl's room before. After reminding himself not to gawk, he asks Touko how she's feeling. She admits to feeling lethargic, but definitely better than that morning. Ren hopes she gets well soon before apologizing, leaving Touko confused. He feels guilty, believing he burdened her with a lot of work during their field trip when it was so hot. He apologizes again, but she reassures him it's no big deal. Touko insists that it was Ren who did a lot, especially with her absence at school that day. He tells her not to worry, while she still feels at fault. As they reassure each other, Ren suddenly stops and chuckles, intriguing Touko. When she questions him, he explains that it feels like they always end up arguing over who's at fault, even though neither is mad. Touko agrees, laughing in amusement. Her laughter causes Ren's heart to skip, and she remarks she knew from the start he's a stubborn guy. Ren retorts she's the same, sparking another of their playful arguments. Eventually, Ren says he should get going and tells Touko he'll see her at school. She thanks him, and Ren comments that he didn't know she has a younger sister. Touko is stunned and tells Ren that the person he met downstairs is actually her mother. Ren is shocked, hoping he didn't do anything rude to upset her. Later, when Mihiro hears about it, she is very delighted. During summer vacation, Ren finds himself in a cafe taking a break from work. While most people spend their vacations with friends, Ren is content relaxing on his own. Suddenly, a familiar shout catches his attention. It's the woman he helped at the park, the one whose hat he picked up. She thanks him again for his kindness and asks if she and her friend can sit at the table next to him. Ren notices that her friend, the guy who looks remarkably like Touko, is also present. He can't help but speculate that perhaps the guy really is Touko's brother. As the woman introduces Ren as the helpful kid from before, the guy gives him an eerily familiar stare. It turns out he doesn't remember Ren at all, which Ren finds awkward but probably for the best. The woman, whose name is Mao, starts chatting with Ren about how Suzu was thrilled with Ren's gift. She suddenly slides closer to Ren and asks why he brought a laptop. He explains that it's for work, feeling a bit awkward about how close she's sitting. Mao receives a call and excuses herself, leaving Ren alone with the guy, whose name he learns is Yuto. The silence between them is palpable, and Ren wonders what to say. Yuto breaks the silence by apologizing for Mao, explaining that she can be pushy but means no harm. Ren reassures him that she's not a problem at all, which Yuto says is good to hear. Unexpectedly, Yuto asks about the birthday present Ren gave to his sister. Ren admits it took him a while to decide on the gift. Yuto confides that he has a little sister and always agonizes over what to get her for her birthday. While Ren assumes he's talking about Touko, Yuto continues, saying he usually gets his sister cat-themed stuff but is unsure if he should do the same this year. Ren suggests that whatever Yuto gets his sister will be fine as long as he puts thought and feelings into it. Ren quickly admits he's just repeating someone else's advice, but Yuto appreciates it, recalling his sister's happy face whenever she receives a gift from him. Yuto shares that ever since he started living on his own, his sister worries about him, and he wants to make it up to her by buying her a good gift. He describes his sister as someone who nags a lot, is playful and childish, making Ren question whether he's mistaken about Touko being Yuto's sister. Ren asks if he and his sister are similar, but Yuto doesn't think so, sowing more doubt in Ren. Just then, Mao returns asking what they're discussing. Ren replies they're talking about birthday presents, and Mao hilariously assumes it's for her. Yuto bluntly says she's mistaken, pointing out that she just had her birthday last month. Their banter makes Ren realize they must be very close. Deciding it's time to leave, Ren bids them goodbye. Later that night, Touko browses Yudo's social media and sees a post where he mentions being reminded of something important. Not quite understanding what it means, she gives the post a supportive like.